News from Bruce Feldman on what he believes is the top 3 list as of right now for Nebraska's candidates for the head coaching job. How goes it over there?
It's going good. Oh,
can I tell you a sad thing about last night?
I wish you would. Well, I guess I wish you would. I don't know why you want to start off with sadness.
Well, it's sad to me. It's good for sports fans though. Last night, there's no college football, no NFL.
No.
Tuesdays are pretty dead. I'm not watching baseball. The Royals suck. I'm out of baseball. Congrats, by the way, to Aaron Judge, home run number 60, though, for the Yankees. However,
number 60
with no football on, and I don't care about baseball. What do I watch on a Tuesday night?
Oklahoma, Nebraska.
No, I watched highlights of the NFL games from Sunday and Monday. I made my wife watch the entire Dolphins highlights. There's a 15-minute montage on NFL.com.
Yeah.
So I made her watch that.
Why is that sad?
It's pretty pathetic.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's on for a reason.
No, it wasn't on.
Pathetic people like
I went to YouTube to watch this. I intentionally sought it out myself. It wasn't like I didn't stumble upon it. I sought it out. Okay. Is the problem.
Oh, yeah.
This is me going to YouTube, finding Dolphins, Ravens highlights, and then Lions, Commanders highlights.
Yeah, that's odd.
That's how I spent at least an hour last night.
I still think you're okay on that.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. At least I'm watching sports, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching some weird show.
Your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched.
So you're okay with that?
Oh yeah, totally. I watched Nebraska, Oklahoma again.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because I miss stuff during the game sometimes. I was kind of. They were still in it at 28-7 in the second quarter when they didn't get that first down. They could have made it 28-14 when they didn't. Remember when Anthony Grant fell short of that first down
on Oklahoma territory? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What was that yard line? Is it inside the 20 or inside the 30?
No, it was inside I'd say inside the 40.
Okay. It was 4th and 1 or 4th and 2?
It was a 4th and 1.
4th and 1. Yep.
And yeah, in his, surprisingly, he didn't get it. It looked like he slipped or lost his footing and fell well short of it. It wasn't close. But it's 28-7. And if they can get in there, maybe the tenor of the game changes. This gets us right into Mickey, by the way. Mickey Joseph appeared before the media corps on yesterday.
Yes, he did.
And he a big part of it was him second guessing himself on. He thought he said I should have slowed the game down. Should have slowed the tempo on offense.
What was our discussion before the game? Do you recall the early break discussion before the Oklahoma game?
Please.
You don't have to speed through things. Offense, Oklahoma can score easily. Mm-hmm. So don't give them the ball so quickly. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, it's easier said than done to have long drives. You got to get the first down still. Oklahoma's defense was all over the field after that first possession by Nebraska and causing problems. So there's no guarantee you get these first downs.
Right.
But the concept of huddling and snapping the ball with 5 seconds to go on the play clock.
Nebraska doesn't really huddle.
I know. But guess what?
But Mickey said that. He did say that. Yeah, he said, this is what he said. I should have slowed the ball down and huddled, like you said, and took some possession away from Oklahoma. Again, we're talking about Nebraska's 49-14 loss. I didn't do that, and that's on me. He was very frank about this. He said it was too late when I thought about it. It was 35-7. I should have made that decision on Thursday. That's why I said it's on me. This is Mickey talking. I made that mistake and I can own it. Eric Chenander would agree with you. I'm sure. I'm sure Eric Chenander would agree with that sentiment. Too late. Now I asked him, do you just chalk this up to being an inexperienced head coach? He said, if that's what you want to say, probably so. That's what my mom said. Yeah, I'm sure that discussion. I mean, I imagine it sounds like the Josephs have some pretty frank discussions.
Well,
he is inexperienced, though, right? He is. He's an inexperienced
first time as a head coach,
right? No, it's not.
Well,
he was at Langston University.
Okay, well,
in 2011 and 2012,
Division 1.
Yeah, he went 13-7. I guess you chalk that up to inexperience.
Well, to defend Mickey, even though we said that on the show during the week, he had about 8 million things going through his head, going from receivers coach to head coach.
Right. That's part of being a head coach.
And
you have 8 million.
And your first game was against Oklahoma, which is no pancake.
I appreciate you showing him some
It's a
grace.
very tough game. Now, we can say that on our show because we have no part of coaching the game. That's just that was what I thought would be a good idea.
You thought that going in.
I said, yeah. I mean, Nebraska's got to find a way to extend these possessions and not have them go a minute 15 and punt or turnover or 3 and out. Like you said, 12 straight empty possessions. Even if you don't score on 12 straight empty possessions, can you at least take a few minutes off the clock, 3, 4, 5 minutes off the clock, and punted or whatever? That didn't happen. We went through it on Monday. The time of the empty possessions was not good. The yardage was bad on it. Nebraska just did nothing after that first drive. That was a great touchdown play.
They had possessions in the first half where they punted. These possessions lasted 1:28, 1 minute 28 seconds, 3:08, 1:14, 1:18, and 2:04. So that, they were getting off the field too fast. I think it got pretty heated on the sideline. Actually, I've heard that that there were people who wanted them to slow it down. So yeah, but Mickey's very frank about it, and I do think you should extend him some grace along those lines.
I did.
I know you did. Calm down.
Making sure you're aware. I got grace for Mickey.
Yeah. By the way, did you listen to the press conference by any chance?
I listened to the last half of it.
There's a sentiment among some people that a laughable sentiment that the media corps was more pointed with its questions for Mickey than it was for Frost.
How do you feel about that accusation?
It never crossed my mind during the press conference that we were that was the tenor of the press conference or the questions were more pointed. I didn't think it for 1 second. I don't know. I think the toxicity level is such that in the fan base right now, I don't even know what to say sometimes. I'd be concerned about that if I were Trev Alberts. The level of toxicity and anxiety right now, I don't even know where that stuff comes from. Did you think that
the questions were more pointed yesterday?
Yeah, than they were for Frost?
I don't.
Did it even occur to you?
That didn't come to my head.
No, I mean, because it's fantasy.
I think there was a interesting,
I don't know if it's fantasy or it's the level of delusion is freaky to me sometimes.
Well, I think one of the parts of the press conference people are pointing to is when Sam asked about comments made by Miles Farmer, and Mickey said, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Well, that was Mickey being more pointed towards Sam.
He was being pointed.
Yeah.
The whole thing's toxic right now.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think that was toxic. I just think Mickey didn't know what Miles Farmer had talked about. And I think he was just asking Sam. And then that's a tough situation to put Sam in because he has to then recount something that was he has to recount something that Miles Farmer said on Saturday, and it was actually quite a bit that he said. So what do you pick out?
Yep.
I guess the takeaway or the lesson there is don't assume that the head coach knows everything that the players say, which I wouldn't expect him to necessarily.
He said that I don't listen to all that stuff.
Right.
Mickey said I don't listen to everything that's said.
Right.
I don't do that.
Right.
So, but again, that's an example of what fans will say is just getting everything is a little bit toxic right now. Everybody's on edge as expected when you have everything's falling apart.
Yeah, you're right.
You should be on this fan base should be on edge.
Easy, Jake. Why would you? I mean, come on.
Why would I not say that?
Well,
your head coach is gone
because you're just fueling it.
I'm not
fostering that.
I'm just saying it's reality. How is it not reality that when you've lost your head coach,
telling people that they should be on edge? That's very comforting.
Well, come on. What am I supposed to say? Everything's fine. Everything's gonna be good.
Well,
it could be.
New start.
And
we have a new start right now.
That's why the next 8 games are very compelling for Nebraska. Can Mickey and Bill can they find something with this team?
I was just struck by you yelling into your microphone that everybody should be on edge.
I just say I don't know why that's a crazy thought.
It's not.
We've been on edge for 5 years, 6 years now,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fan base that just, I mean,
no, you're right.
like you said, the bar.
I just don't know if you should yell it into
the
this.
expectation bar has lowered and lowered and lowered, and now we just want to get back to a bowl game.
So yeah, the picture.
Yeah, we're on edge.
It's an interesting picture that all of a sudden, you know, it did strike me yesterday that it was 103 degrees.
It was terrible outside.
It's still in that part of the schedule where it's hotter than hell. And you have Mickey Joseph as the head coach and Bill Bush as the defensive coordinator, and some guy named Joey Connors coaching the special teams I've never heard of.
You wonder why people are on edge right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
no, you're right. That's a good point.
It might be unappealing. I don't. There's a whole situation's unappealing.
They've
right now.
blown out the head coach and the defensive coordinator.
How is that appealing to anybody?
Well, it could be seen as appealing that you have.
Well, if you want those guys gone, then sure, but it doesn't mean the season's going well.
No, it means the season's going very poorly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you guys to go freak out and act like a bunch of crazy, idiots out there.
It sounded a bit like that.
I'm just pointing to the fact that I understand it. I get it. Why people are barking at each other.
Because there's a lot of that.
Everybody is on edge, and there's nothing that can make you agree on anything.
Not really.
Like
win.
Think about
win
this.
Would help.
Even if Mickey and this staff were to, this is hypothetical. I don't expect this. Hypothetical. If they somehow went 6-2 in these 8 games, not going to happen in my opinion. But somehow, even in that, you'd have a lot of people saying,
"Hey,
get
nasty.
Mickey's the guy.
No,
hire Mickey."
Nasty.
And someone says, "Still, nope, he doesn't have experience. That was just he got lucky that run." And you're not going to have unity.
It'd get nasty,
even in that situation where they finish the season strong.
I don't mind you raising that hypothetical. Right? No, that's a good.
That's a fair hypothetical.
It is, and it'd get really nasty. You're right. Yeah, I always say that we're in a fix. I don't. Now, it could be solved by the right coach coming in. Now, that's so lots on Trev's back. I was thinking about that this morning again. We can play this game. We can play this little game on the radio where we shoot out our favorites for the job. We don't have to go talk to them and hope that they are receptive. And it's not on our, it's on our job to get this right. We can play this little game, do this little dance that we do, which we'll keep doing, but it's not on us. All we do is yell. I mean, we just can yell into the microphones that he got it right or he didn't get it right, or we're not sure the toxicity level is going to remain high, and etc. But Trev now is on the clock.
Yeah.
And right now the pressure Trev doesn't feel all that significant because the clock, it's a long clock. This is going until late November or maybe early December. And so the urgency is not really attached to the conversation right now. It's still sort of a fun conversation because we have all these possibilities, but at some point you're in the store and you got to make a pick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Your wife is saying, all right, we got to get going.
This isn't hypothetical forever. It's for 2 months more.
Right. This is sort of fun fantasizing about Urban Meyer and bickering about Urban Meyer and then saying, okay, then who's number 2? Oh, wouldn't it be fun to have Lance Leipold? But this is just fun time for us. It's not fun time for Trev. I mean, you have to understand that there's some targets that may not want any part of this.
Right. That's a huge part of this.
Right. And you don't know who the right guy is. You can formulate in your little brain who you think the right guy is, but you have no stake in it.
I'm not hiring the coach.
Right.
I'm here to
I do the same thing as in my little brain.
Applaud the program, just to talk about it.
Right. But this is and Trev happened to take over at a time when, people are on edge. Now, people have always, after Frank, it was on edge. It was on edge. Okay. But not, there hadn't been sustained losing when that happened.
No. You had 1 7-7 season before that.
Right.
which was shocking after making the championship the previous year. Oh, by the way. But wasn't sustained losing. 402-464-5685. Call or text as always.
Mickey Joseph, why did he get rid of Chins? He explained that. I don't know if you have that
the opening statement.
I think it's hold on. I got it written down. It's right after the opening statement. No, it's not the opening statement. It's not. I'll just read what he said. How about that?
Please do.
He said that the decision was not just the direct result of the performance against Oklahoma, but a reflection of his disappointment in the defense over the last 4 games. He says Chins is a good man and a good coach, but the numbers didn't add up. This is Mickey Joseph talking. I didn't see us getting better. For 4 weeks, I didn't see us getting better from week 1 to week 4. So I had to make the best decision for the kids because it's about the boys. I mean, you can't argue with him on that. They didn't get better.
No, they didn't get better at all. I mean, Georgia Southern happened. And 642 yards of offense, 45 points.
Yeah, and Oklahoma
could have put 700 yards on you.
Oklahoma, watching that game again, they're pretty good. That guy, Dylan Gabriel missed some passes that would have put that game away earlier.
He did.
Yeah, he did. He missed some passes to some guys that were open.
And it was over at halftime.
It was still over at halftime.
For a game, it could have been over earlier.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yep.
Gabriel's a good quarterback. We were right on Gabriel. He's good, not great. He's good.
I think I saw he against early, but he's like top 5 right now in the Heisman.
Jeez, I don't know.
Which I don't think he'll be there at the end of the year. I think he's fine. Again, he's a good. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah,
he's good.
He's not the best player in the country.
But he's not like what you had with Lincoln Riley, with Mayfield, Murray back to back, right?
No, he's not like that.
Those guys are difference makers, Heisman winners.
Yeah, he's good. He's definitely good. I don't want to act like I'm disparaging him. He's good, but man, he missed throws. And he's a little limited, He's a little limited. He's not like Murray's lightning fast. Dylan Gabriel's not.
No.
He's not 6'4". He's 5'11". I think you see that show up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, and the fact, like you said, he's not as fast or nearly as fast as Kyler Murray is why when you watch that touchdown run, you're just mortified. Say, what the hell are you doing?
Well, I wonder after watching it again, I wonder if Mickey looked at that and said, well, we're not getting enough out of the defense. They're not. That was an effort.
That was a horrible. I mean,
that was an effort issue.
Like 5 guys that could have made a tackle.
Right. That was an effort issue.
That's horrible.
That's on tape. I mean, that's
a 3rd down too.
Yeah, 3rd and 7.
Get off the field.
3rd and 7.
Yeah. From the text line real quick. Can I read this real quick?
Of course.
Someone says, this is Dexter, unnamed. Lots of yelling this morning. Take a deep breath. It's Wednesday of the freaking bye week, guys. No deep breaths right now. There's a coaching search going on. Nebraska's 1-3.
Let's see what else. Oh, A.J. Allen out. A.J. Allen out with a season-ending collarbone injury. A.J. Allen, boy, again, watching that game last night. Do you have thoughts in your head that I wonder if A.J. Allen is now on even terms with Anthony Grant? I mean, I'll tell you what, I thought A.J. Allen looked better on Saturday than Anthony did. They're good. They're both really good. Man, they got 2 good running backs now. And now A.J. Allen's out for the year, which is really hurts because he's fun to watch run the ball. Anthony is too. I like Anthony Grant.
So the question is, Gabe Ervin came in that game for Nebraska and had a couple.
Well, he ran 7 times for 60 yards. He looked great.
He did look great. Again, that was when the game was out of hand. Also, didn't necessarily have your starters in for Oklahoma.
Well,
possibly.
They
did look good though.
They're what I thought at running back. I mean, I thought I'm not patting myself on the back, but I thought they were good. Remember that? I thought that was their best position, and it is. Those guys are good. That smells. That A.J. Allen's out. I mean, and he heard it in the 4th quarter with the game over. And I'm not second guessing personnel decisions. I don't want to do that. It crossed my mind last night as it dawned on me that the game was well out of reach in the 4th quarter when he hurt his shoulder. Is that anything to raise even?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I
just say it crossed my mind.
I have no problem when you're down. If you want your guys to get more experience playing time, he's a
good
freshman.
point.
He's still a freshman.
Yeah, good point.
Still early in his.
All right.
So I have no problem with that. It's unfortunate what happened, but you're trying to set a precedent of we finish football games here, right? We finish. We don't just let this get out of hand. We finish the game.
Yeah, it'd be unfair second guessing. Brian Buschini. How about Mickey? Mickey calling out his punter a little bit yesterday. Buschini suffered a sprained ankle making a tackle on a punt return.
Like this,
Mickey said Brian's fine. He had a sprained ankle, but he's going to be good. Can't punt the ball in the middle of the field, so you better make that tackle.
There we go, Mickey.
Yeah.
Accountability, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Joey Connors. We're skipping around a little bit. Joey Connors takes over as special teams coach. Joey Connors is a graduate of UCF in 2017. He's a youngin'. But he worked, this is what you have to understand. He worked 2 years alongside Bush. I mean, he was Bush's lieutenant, so to speak. He was a GA last year, graduate assistant that worked on field with the specialists. So he's a young guy, but this is come on. I mean, at this point, everything's installed on special teams. They have to tweak it game by game.
Yep.
Depending on what the other team does, but it's special teams. You don't have to usually make radical changes. So Bill has everything installed. He'll still be somewhat a part of it, but he won't be able to be a big part of it. Connors is just going to have to step up. And then, the other assistant coaches that have coached special teams, specific areas, they'll probably have to be a little bit more mindful. Barrett Rude, Brian Applewhite, Fisher, those type of guys.
I think you keep a close eye on how that unit looks the rest of the season.
Okay.
Special teams.
That's fair.
They deserve to have a close eye on them for how it's been the past several years.
And Mickey did say that on offense, they will slow it down. And that Mark Whipple is amenable to that.
Good.
Now, Whipple's always been a tempo guy. That's the interesting thing. Whipple's always been a tempo guy. So we'll see that. We'll see what that looks like too.
We'll see if they do that. They say it. Well, they do it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Whipple's always been a tempo guy.
Everything's great. Let's get a call from Jason on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 464-5685. Jason, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, morning, fellas. I'm not going to be yelling because I yelled all weekend. I'm still trying to get my voice back from the game.
Okay, Jason.
I am, like I said, we've gone through so much stuff over the last 20 years. Like, it's only been a week, but I am getting nervous about the coach thing. I know they say we got a long runway, but, I don't want to be in a Peterson situation where we're scrambling because our first pick didn't get, our first pick got picked by another team. And eventually, like I said, these coaches are going to start getting fired. And it's like, Trev's doing his research, but it's like, I know they're saying we're waiting until this November, December date, but if you got your man, I mean, traditionally an AD, when he does a firing, he's got a man. That's who they're going after. And, you hate to go the route of, hey, let them go with it. And if you got your man, go get him and get him started, have him start recruiting for us. But like I said, I just hope it doesn't turn into a Peterson situation where, Trev doesn't get his first pick, doesn't get his second pick, and then he has to end up settling. So I know it's only been a week or two, but like I said, I'm just real gun shy of the situation, and hopefully we can end up getting whoever Trev wants. But like I said, I'm still throwing it out there, man. If Trev's doing all this research and he can't find the guy that marks all the boxes, man, you and Mickey, man, take it over, Trev. Just you guys, you've done all your research. You know who the coaches are out there. Build a staff and let's go with who we got. Because, like I said, if we can't get Urban or whoever your number one man is, because we've waited too long and he's gotten picked by some other team, it's just going to get everybody all, like, where are we going here? So it's just, like I said, my concern right now.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Jason. Are you happy? You've worried the young man with your yelling.
I don't think I'm at fault there.
Now, Jason, here's the thing.
But sure,
there's an element of this that we have to remember, and that is these coaches, a lot of the coaches, or maybe all of the coaches that Trev's looking at, are employed. Jason, they're not going to play ball during the season. I mean, just take Matt Campbell,
right,
or Lance Leipold,
at Kansas,
or Bill O'Brien at Alabama. They're in the midst of their seasons, especially when you're talking about these head coaches. I mean, Matt Campbell he's not going to entertain he's not going to interview. He's going to leave it probably in the hands of his agents completely, but he's not going to take the job, Jason, until his season's over. Or at least it's not going to be announced. He's not going to do that. It would be terrible. It would be a terrible look for Matt Campbell if it ever got out that he took the job during the season.
Yeah, and that's why someone says there's a difference between waiting to hire and waiting to announce.
Well, sure, but again, I don't know. I mean, this is Jason. These guys are working. That's the bottom line. Now, how it all plays out behind the scenes, it's sort of anybody's guess, and it's not always the same. But the fact is, these guys are working, and they're going to keep working. I guess it's possible that Trev has some deal in place with somebody.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Again, we have no idea.
Right. And this is all this, and then it would make all this conversation we're having. These are the three candidates Bruce Feldman says. It makes it all folly.
I know. Well,
right.
Exactly. That's why this is uncomfortable.
Right. These things are really uncomfortable.
People are on edge.
But I would tell you this. I would be floored if Trev has a guy in place right now. Floored. That if he has some agreement, some secretive agreement with a coach who says, okay, I'm yours. Just let me coach through my season. I would be floored by that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, unless the coach is not coaching right now.
Right. Yeah.
If the coach is coaching, I'm with you. If the coach is not coaching right now, then.
But if the coach is not coaching right now, why wouldn't you just go ahead and announce it?
To give Mickey a chance, maybe?
Yeah, that could be.
So you don't upset the fans. So you never gave Mickey a fair chance.
That could be.
You gotta.
Maybe that's why Urban Meyer poured cold water on the whole thing.
Yeah. Take that, Urban Doubters.
Or Trev. I mean, well, okay, what are we talking about? A report from Pete Thamel on Sunday that said Trev's not in this, or excuse me, that Urban Meyer's not going to coach this year. Totally poured cold water on Urban Meyer. Now, that could have been orchestrated. And it seems like that's what a lot of people think.
That's why. And people keep thinking, oh, these guys are pipe dreams with Urban Meyer to Nebraska. Hey, listen, it might not happen.
We're not doing that again today.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, we can. We could do it every day. It's fun.
Doing it.
We don't have to get into Urban today.
Okay, let's get a quick call from Outdoors Kevin. Outdoors Kevin, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Thank you. Can we please just quit talking about Campbell and Leopold? They're an average coach in the Big 12. They'd be below average in Big 10. I mean, we need a big hit. We need someone that knows the Big 10, that can recruit for the Big 10 and help us win. We don't need to just go average.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hang up and listen.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
It depends on who you can get right now, Outdoors Kevin. How interested are people in the job outside of the names we've heard?
Yeah, we should have. I mean, I wonder who Kevin has in mind that's a home run other than Urban Meyer. Bill O'Brien, to me, is a home run. He does check the boxes. Okay. That's the one that always comes to mind for me other than Urban. I mean, obviously, I have a natural I'm biased towards Lance Leipold. There's no doubt.
I love Lance. Lance is a great football coach, doing phenomenal work.
Yeah, I'm definitely biased toward Lance. I have a bias that I need to just say publicly. Of course, I've known him for 25 years, and I do think he'd be good here. But you know what? It's not my deal. I mean, again, we just have fun with it.
Well,
I mean, now if I wasn't having fun with it, I think I might think differently. If it was my job, and my job is frankly on the line, and I'm going to be defined by this decision, I'll tell you what. If it wasn't Urban Meyer, I'm telling you, I would go O'Brien. That's what I'd think because of his experience in the Big Ten. What outdoors Kevin just said. He's a quarterback guy. You got to get a quarterback. I mean, you have to have you can't have an okay quarterback.
You need someone that can help with the trenches big time, or at least get the guy. I mean, quarterback's one thing.
Quarterback is the thing.
It's big. It's huge, obviously. But Nebraska needs to have somebody that can help get the trenches reestablished.
You know who that is, maybe. That just, who works inside out is Dave Aranda.
Well, Dave Aranda would be great. I love Dave Aranda.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's likely.
I know. That's the thing.
If you got Dave Aranda, I'd be having a parade.
Or just look for an inside out coach. I mean, Aranda works inside out, meaning his lines are very strong. His line play on both sides is very strong.
That's somebody when we talk about unity in the fan base. Again, it wouldn't be 100%, but I think you'd have a lot of people in support of Dave Aranda.
I do too. Daryl.
One last call from Daryl. Daryl, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, morning, guys.
Hey,
hi, Daryl.
Hey, you guys today, talking about hiring, trying to unify the fan base, this, that, and the other. My approach is, what are realistic expectations for the program? Say, I'll just throw it out there, 5-year window. Should Nebraska be winning the West 2 to 4 times in a 5-year window, maybe pulling off a Big Ten championship 1 or 2 times out of that 5-year window? Look at it from the expectation standpoint and find a coach that fits that. Don't find a coach that says, hey, let's unify the fan base. Let's look at it. What are the expectations? What's Trev's? What's the fan base? Approach it that way instead of just saying, oh, we need Urban Meyer, or we need this guy, or we need that guy. I don't know. Have you guys, what's your expectations, or what are you guys hearing? What are your thoughts? That's where I'm at.
Okay. Well, here's the problem.
Thank you,
Daryl. Is there going to be a Big Ten West in 5 years? I mean, that's the thing I wonder automatically. So it's sort of hard to set expectations when you're not even sure what your conference is going to look like. Is Nebraska going to be in a pod? And are we going to be talking about that?
Are more teams coming to the Big Ten? We have no idea what it looks like.
5 years. Hey, Daryl, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jake, but in 5 years, I'll be surprised if it's the Big Ten East and the Big Ten West.
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Come on. It'll be some sort of pod probably.
Right. So Daryl, I appreciate the sentiment, but in a pragmatic sense, I don't know how you set expectations when you don't know what your conference is going to look like.
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm totally with you there. You have no idea. If the West was as it is now for 10 more years, then sure, you can have expectations, but we have no clue.